Dowdy's AccuraSeries, Bagara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust-proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CBA, it's just a better gun.
All right, guys, this segment's being sponsored by our friends over at Soul Shine. Y'all can find them at 4021 Hughes Crossing, Suite 101 in Franklin, Tennessee. Or give my buddy Steve Brandon a call, 615-379-7767. They can also take care of your catering needs. Stop in there, have some of their pizza or some of their soup. My wife loves their crawfish soup. So get in there, tell Steve hello, and tell him thank you for everything they do for us here at the show. All right, welcome back to the studio. Been talking crappie fishing tonight. You know, we like to get after just about every species in the water at some point throughout the year, but this time of year, that's just kind of our focus, you know, is crappie fishing. We enjoy doing that, and we've had a great past few weeks. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks being really good too, but just trying to cover some things that might help you put a few more fish in a boat or in the basket on the bank. You know, you can do just as well. That's one thing I love about this time of year, guys, is like Terry mentioned so many times, you don't have to have a boat this time of year to be pretty successful at crappie. Now, you might have to wait them out as far as weather-wise, because your fish will get in there. What they're doing is they're coming in there, they're getting ready to spawn, do their thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, cold front hits, they go back out. And then you're, all of a sudden you're fishing this tree that had 50 fish on it the other day, and there's nothing, you know, nothing. And that might happen 4 or 5 days, and you'll get discouraged, and next time you get to stop by there, though, a week later, there might be 50 fish back in that tree again. So that's just how it works this time of year, and it just takes persistence and just consistently staying on them. But I think once the nights start becoming warmer, that's when the water temperatures will get a little bit more consistent, and things will really
days getting a little longer, a little more sunshine, warm the water up.
That's right, and water's getting on up. You know, the Old Hickory the other day we were at about 55, 56 degrees, just depending on where we were, which is it's getting on up there. So everything's going pretty good on that end as far as the temperature's getting up. It's just we have that big cold front, and it just changes everything that at the drop of a hat. So once it gets more stable, I think we're doing good. Got a full moon
tonight
coming on, and that's gonna. I think that has a lot of pull on a lot of things. Our buddy Randall Haley, he talks a lot about the moon and deer and things, the way it has a pull on. I feel just like he does in a lot of ways about that, and I think it makes a difference with your fish. And like Terry mentioned earlier, when we were leaving the water, that full moon coming in, those crappie ought to be coming in to spawn. These nights will be getting warmer, and they're going to be starting to do their thing. So it's a good time to get out there. We're trying to help y'all get some more of them, so just trying to cover some bases. I was talking to Mike earlier. We did a show that's going to be airing here in a few weeks with our buddy Daniel Brown, and we went out and we fished specifically TWRA stake beds, and I mean the marked stake beds, TWRA.
So
we've had some great trips out there, and going out and showing some techniques of what we were doing around those beds, but just the fact that sometimes these community holes can be really good. But we were out that day, had my dad out with me, we had a great time. And what I want to mention about that particular day, and some things we'll talk about in that upcoming video, one of the differences that day in getting a bite, guys, we could cast into a stake bed 5, 6, 10 times from this angle. So let's say, for example, and not have a strike. We're throwing jigs in there. Now at this point, we're not using floats. We're a little bit deeper water. We're letting them work it down into the brush. You just want to work it so slow, you almost just feel like it's going to stop. And that's usually when it'll bite, when you kind of sit still with it. But we could come around at a little different angle and throw at the very same stake bed and come through at a different angle, boom. And what that is, a lot of times, Terry, and you can talk a little more about this because I know you know a lot about it too, but those fish sometimes will stage up and they're set up here facing such and such way, and it literally takes you turning that jig through there at a different angle, get in front of him, and what you do, he'll hit it.
That's right. And then the same thing about when you're fishing a dock, he'll bite from the shady side and not the sunny side. Or if you're fishing, like you said, a stake bed, a lot of times you'll throw past the stake bed. Don't throw to it, throw past it, and then reel, like he said, bring it right up to it, stop, and just bump it. Easy, easy, easy. And before you know it, he'll take it. But a crappie is a very finicky, skittish.
They are.
They're
And
just
I think where a lot of people, and I have too, a lot in the past myself, where a lot of people mess up, they're in the right place, the fish are there, they got the right bait, but they're busting that bait through there too quick, and they're pulling them right through the fish.
Yes.
But it just takes slowing down. You've got to slow down a lot of times and just ease it through there as slow, just so slow again that you just feel like the jig's just going to give up and drop to the bottom.
I have a good friend, Ray McDougall, says when you're fishing slow, slow down.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah.
And just the slightest little, when you're fishing lightweight tackle like we are here, the slightest movement, just the littlest movement of your wrist.
It doesn't take a lot.
It doesn't take much, just a little bit of that and a very, very slow crank, and you'll catch more fish, I promise you, than if you just throw it out there and reel it through, and throw it out there and reel it through. You will double or more the amount of fish that you'll pick up that way. And you can pick up on that subtle bite a lot easier that way too, because sometimes when they're wanting to be finicky, they'll pull that bait in just barely, like Terry mentioned earlier, and you don't hardly know he's there. But if you've got that line tight, you're working it real slow, you'll feel him pick that jig up.
Yeah. And
just
Terry said
tighten down on
earlier,
you.
watch your line, because a lot of times that crappie, I mean, that line just couldn't barely tip.
It'll just load up. I mean, that's basically what, like Daniel, at one point, he was in the back of the boat and saw that I had a fish hitting, and called it just as I hit, because he could see my line load up. And that's what was going on. Your rod would just load up and just get heavy and just lift right into them.
And hook sets are free too.
Yeah.
So
Hook sets don't cost anything. I took a few free ones today anyway, but nonetheless, just slow that presentation down. That's a big deal too. Another way that's going to put some more fish in the boat.
And when that jig is dropping, a lot of times he will bite it. But if you're watching your line, you'll notice as it's dropping, it'll stop. And he's already lifted.
Yeah.
He just hasn't turned with it.
He's just holding it.
He's just
literally sitting there holding it. And you better do something about it pretty soon. You ain't going to be holding it anymore.
For sure.
Well, guys, we're going to get ready to take another quick break. We'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.